Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, and we are taking a look at the LA-15. We talked about this aircraft a little bit, about how it was available for me to purchase. I finally saved up the money for it, and what a great Russian Tier 10 fighter. A lot of people kind of overlook or ignore the LA line, the Levechkin line. Hope I'm saying that right, but the Levechkin line is going to be your kind of in-between of what you get with the Yak 30 line and with the MiG 15 line. It's going to mix a bit of altitude performance, a bit of turn capability, and sandwich those together to give it a fairly nimble altitude, well, mid-altitude fighter. Accidentally hit my consumable here. I meant to hit F2, not the 2 button, but we are going to go to the mid. We're going to do our job, but you'll note that I'm way outside my altitude comfort zone, but look at that airspeed. It just holds it. It does not care. This thing is an absolute speed demon, and here we are seeing a Yak 19, albeit specialized, but he ain't supposed to be up here. He's not supposed to be up here. We just took his tail, we lit him on fire, we took him out. He was trying to do a sacrifice move to maybe be able to capture the zone, but we'll see a little bit more of him later. And now here we are able to chase down an F2H Tier 9 American heavy fighter. Granted, not the fastest aircraft, but we were able to get on him. And now we're thinking about going after a bomber, but realizing that that aircraft should be dead with not only a player on him, but also a bot heavy, we're going to head down here and go after this IL-40. The 323mm cannons aren't the most accurate guns in the world, but once you kind of get them snugged in here and you are locked in on target, you can do a pretty substantial amount of hurt. And we're going to see that right here as we settle in for a nice speed run here. And again, picking up speed, getting up to about 402 passes, not too bad. I do see that there's a light fighter behind me, and it looked like it was specialized, so it looks as though the Yak 19 wants a little bit of vengeance. We are over 400 miles an hour in the climb, just kind of tapping that boost. Now we've hit that boost cooler. We're just going to coax this guy up to an uncomfortable altitude bracket. We're up to nearly 9, 10, 11,000 feet, and we're maintaining over 300 miles an hour. The only reason we're slowing down is so we can get the nose back down and attack that Yak 19. But you know what? I can get that speed back, and I don't even need to drop that far, because there are targets up here for me to go after, one of which is going to be a Ju-287. Yes, we are going to intercept a Ju-287 and do it effectively. Granted, he was low health, but man, what a great capability to be able to go after everything. The latitude that you have, the ability to kind of go between shooting a ground attacker, dogfighting with a Yak 19, chasing down a heavy, going after a bomber aircraft. This is kind of a jack of all trade, master of none, but it's still pretty good at most of those other roles. So this really does fall into a niche that I have learned to appreciate quite a bit. And with a 9 and some change turn time for 360 degrees, it is more than capable for holding its own against most turn engagements. This is going to be the aircraft that's going to be a hard counter for your F-86 Sabres who want to drop down to the wrong altitude bracket. This will be a nice aircraft for being able to coax Yak 19s up to high altitude or Yak 30s and then cause them some damage. Again, a Yak 30 is a different proposal, but I think the LA-15 will have its ability to definitely mess with that aircraft. I do see that this player in the IL-40P is going for a gun run on me, so we're going to do a bit of an up maneuver here. We're flying directly above him so his tail gunner can't hit us, but it's either him or us for this zone, so let's go ahead and get in there. We've lit him on fire, we've caused some pretty substantial damage, and being specialized, you know that he has some hit points. He did manage to pick up the zone, but we're going to settle in and get some vengeance, because one more quick pass like that, and poof, got him. And we know that guy has some hit points, so we definitely put some good work in on him. And there's this poor F2H yet again. We're honing in on him, we're keeping our altitude, we're getting our speed. The climb rate on this thing is 580 plus feet per second for the climb rate. That is really good, by the way. For those of you who are in metric, that's going to rival most of the climb rates for a lot of your altitude fighters. It is really good. So just bear in mind that, again, jack of all trade, master of none, but even for the areas that it's not specialized in, it still does very good. Good turn performer, good climber, good acceleration, good overall speed. And while the firepower isn't spectacular, it's definitely stable. And that's one of the problems I had with the LA-160 at Tier 9, is that those 30mm cannons, they had some real oomph to them. And once you got used to them, they were pretty good. But the consistency from flying one aircraft to the next, the flight characteristics of this fall more in line with what you see with most aircraft in the game are running some form of mid-caliber cannons. Your 20mm, your 23s, your 15s for the Germans, for some of the German aircraft. So it has its consistency when you're jumping between aircraft. And again, Wallace, why do you make me do this to you, man? We did manage to pick back up the middle, by the way, and we took out that Yak-19 yet again. He really had it in for us. I'm not sure why. Why am I the danger target? But you know what? Far be it for me to judge. I was going to go after that LA-160, but unnecessary. And now we're hitting 500 plus miles an hour, and we're coming up and intercepting from underneath a Ju-287, so that way we can minimize our time in his tail gunner. We took out his engine. We're slowing down intentionally so we can settle in, and got him. Grade 2 fighter, locked it in. We've already got the, what was it, the Akamatsu medal is what we just picked up after we killed that Yak-19. We've still got a lot of time left. We have not gotten air supremacy, which I'm actually glad about, which is why I wasn't too upset when we lost the military facility. And poor Wallace, yet again, an aircraft that I wouldn't have thought was going to be an interceptor of heavy aircraft, but this F2H just wants to put himself in my gun sights. Just picked up Conqueror. Now that it's squall line, let's start executing people so they are gone forever. There goes an F7U. There's a Hunter. He's already a little bit injured. Let's find that sweet spot. And next, Hero of the Sky, locked it in. Got grade 1 fighter. That's the same thing, essentially. And now we see an F-84. Oh shoot, that was a player. I didn't realize that till I watched the review. I totally stole that kill. I actually feel kind of bad about that now. I'm sorry, man. I didn't realize you were a player. I thought it was a bot. I figured I'd go in and grab that real quick. Shoot. Anyways, so coming in on this F7U, managed to pick up the Kazuda medal. There are a few bot aircraft over here I could go after, but I do note that there is a multi-role up high. So let's go ahead up after him, and that is indeed a player and an F-94D. So we're going to settle in on him. We definitely can outturn him, and we can outpace him. Can't outgun him, but we just stay on this side of his guns, and we're just fine. Kind of splitting the damage up here. Figured I could go after both. That way they're not trying to avoid me with active maneuvering. Hit the one, and this other one was right above us. Tried to kick on the extra maneuverability, maybe get another kill, and just missed it. So we did manage to get a plethora of medals here, an absolute massive amount, and we got 16,890 in the personal points. Let's go ahead and hit the end results screen and see how we did overall. So, doesn't disappoint. This is kind of what I expected it to be. An LA-60 with a little bit more predictable guns. 323s, kind of what we were expecting. Same gun configuration we'll see on the Yak-30 when we finally are able to purchase that airframe. But with really good altitude performance for being what would be considered kind of like a mid to low altitude fighter. Great maneuverability characteristics even without it being specialized, and with only a six skill pilot, we were able to do an absolutely fantastic job in this aircraft, and we were pretty close to getting ace as well if we would have buckled down and focused on our targets a little bit better. Honestly, I just kind of threw this battle together. This is the third such battle I tried to record tonight. I'll, open kimono here, as they say. But, this battle actually came in too late, and we managed to get a loss out of it, but we came back pretty quick. I was in that weird endless loop where the timer just kept ticking away, and at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how long this takes, so I had to restart the game, and we were already pretty far behind. This battle, yeah, I'll fully admit that I wasn't going to the right places, doing the right things, but again, very consistent score, right? We're around 10,000, going up against a lot of specialized planes over on this side. And then this last match, just again, does not disappoint. Just look at that laundry list of medals that came out of this one. What a great one. What was that? Conqueror, Marseille, the Akamatsu Wing Legend Campbell, the Kazuda Flying Paladin, Hero of the Sky badge, and Flying Warrior badge. It's a lot of tokens too, which is good because I was running low on those things. But, whew, what a great plane! Just consistent, strong. Very few things are able to counter it. You'll note that those two previous battles I lost on, I was going up against, was it a 1101 and a 1092, both specialized, but I was still able to outturn those aircraft and kind of turn the tables on them. There was a Yak 19 specialized on the enemy team, and despite his maneuverability, we were able to coax him into areas he wasn't meant to be operating in, and we were just kind of toying with him at that point. If we weren't doing a hard counter against Cool Bud here, I'm willing to bet we would have been able to lock in that ace as well. But yes, the LA-15, very solid performer and very much hits my play style. If I'm going to be flying a tourney aircraft, it might as well be one that's fast and one that has some good altitude performance. The guns feel a little inconsistent, but it does very, very well for itself. And with the airspeed, 621 miles per hour boosted, that's the same speed as the dive speed. Like, it's just a monster. Has this kind of arced wings here. I forget how you'd say that. They're canted, they're sloped, they're angled towards the ground. But yeah, it's a high mounted wing design, which is a little bit of a counter to what you would see with, like, what are we looking at? The MiG-15 is a mid-mounted, and I think the Yak-30 is also a mid-mounted, but the LA-15 with its high wings, slightly different appearance, a little bit skinnier, but I do like it. It's definitely a keen fighter. I like this. I like the style. The LA line was a surprisingly enjoyable line for me to grind. For somebody who doesn't like turn fighters but can respect the capability and wants to kind of dabble in it from being an altitude fighter type, this is a good line to go down once you've kind of ground your line out. So for your altitude fighters, this is a great line to go down to kind of dip your toe in the water and still take advantage of that altitude bracket that you're supposed to be in, but be able to get the speed and the firepower on targets. So, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the review, because what a nice looking plane. Sorry, I'm kind of all into it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.